So personally, I love building a lot in The Sims, but I also love renovating. And so I thought, why not renovate one of your builds today in The Sims 4 and see what it can do? Because at the end of the day, it's a win-win scenario because I get inspiration, you get inspiration. So it's like kind of a great thing in a way. So today I decided to renovate this build made by my friend Dabney Mallory on the gallery, and it's a loft build that they made in 2019. Now their original concept is really great. I love what they've done with the landscaping in the front, with the little side yard, with the planter boxes, and especially with the inside where the bedroom and the bathroom are upstairs, and like the whole kitchen, dining room, and living room are all open plan, and they have a little teeny tiny bathroom over here. But either way, let's go ahead and hop into the speed build. Now personally, when I was doing this build on stream, I was a little hesitant of trying to not demolish the entire build and starting a brand new thing, because at first my true intentions was keeping the same concept of the loft build, which I did, but also expanding it a little bit bigger where it's not so boxy, because for some reason I can never make a box build and make it look good. Like, I don't know how to do it. Like, other people can do it and make it look great, but for me, it's just like I see a box and I'm just like, what do I do with it? I don't understand. So I end up adding like little small bump outs here and there, adding a roof or a porch or whatever it might be to still give it a boxy look, but making it look less boxy, if that makes any sense. But I think we've all had a fair share of boxy builds in the past, and I think now that we're older and wiser and we understand the concept of building every once in a while, we no longer make boxy builds. But you know, if you make a boxy build, there's purpose. There is, you know, creativity in that. And my one tip I can give to you all for building is always use debug, because here's my thing. Debug is free and debug is there for you to use. Now, if you don't know what debug is, basically, debug is really just the environment of The Sims 4. The stuff that you see in the background are like debug items in Build and Buy that you can use on a daily basis in your builds, like trees, random houses, rocks, fences, whatever it might be, that's like in debug. The cars you see driving past every once in a while, those cars are in debug. You might have seen those cars I've used in my builds in the past. They're all from debug. They're all like environment objects that your Sims can't use or interact with, but they are nice for the aesthetic and stylizing of your build and your home. So again, use debug. I'll link the cheat down below in the description in case you don't know what the cheat code is. I will let you all know what it is. But I think it also works on console too. So if you didn't know this, you actually can use your keyboard and mouse as like a functioning, you know, component for your console. So you don't have to use a controller anymore. Get yourself a keyboard, get yourself a mouse, and use that on your console, because it will save you so much time and also energy and stress and anxiety. So I just think it looks wonderful. But when I was doing this on stream, I was so scared, because here's the thing. I renovate a lot of builds on stream, but I also do sometimes every once in a while for a YouTube video. And if you ever want me to renovate one of your builds on stream or just in a video or both, you can use the hashtag #SpringItUp on the gallery. That is the same hashtag that I use for pretty much any renovation. And I find it kind of fun to go look on that hashtag and see what builds I can renovate that day, or, you know, just out of randomness on an off day when I don't stream, or when I just want to have fun and just renovate something really cool. But yeah, if you have a build that you want me to renovate, use that hashtag on the gallery. It's Spring It Up, link down below. Check it out. It's really fun. And I always want to like gather new inspiration, because a lot of people build differently in The Sims 4 or just in The Sims in general. And everyone has like really good, bright ideas when it comes to just the whole concept of it all, of starting with the box and making it look extremely different. And so having this series of renovating builds is good for the both of us, like for me and also for you. So I mean, we both get something out of it at the end of the day. And this build in particular was made by my friend Daphne, who is also my Twitch mod and my good online internet friend. And You know, she's a very talented builder. I would say she has come a long way. And she would say the same thing too. She has said in the past that, thanks to you, Stephen, I've gotten better at landscaping and also using debug, which is good. It's a good thing. My tips are helping people. But I think it's really fun being able to see someone's like growth in building over like where they first started and where they're at now. Like from the very beginning, I don't think Dab has made any like big extravagant, like, I mean, every build is extravagant and amazing, but I feel like they haven't done like big builds in the beginning and then slowly progressed into making these big builds and smaller builds, but with more landscaping and more personality. Because I always say, a home isn't a home unless it has like, certain clutter items or some clutter items here and there, and landscaping. I always say landscaping is key because landscaping is just like, it's just great. It's great to have. And I wanted to keep this home like very minimal when it came to like a lot of clutter. And I've been doing that a lot more often in my builds where I'm not using too much clutter, but making sure I use enough clutter to make it look, clutterfied. Is that even a word? Clutterfied? It probably isn't. But still, at the end of the day, I wanted to make it very minimal because it is a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom home, loft house, and it's very open plan, I realize. The kitchen, dining room, and living room, or the dining room lack thereof, is all open plan. There is a small little nook corner or piece in the home where the laundry room's at, but then there also is an upstairs where it was how would put it, a struggle bus of a mess. Because I just didn't know the concept of like, how am I gonna fit all this stuff in this small cramped space without making it too big and just too much. But you know what I just realized is that this house is a straight up box, but I added in a front porch and a back porch without adding any new wall exteriors, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. I just added a roof and it looked different. I think the key concept, add a front porch and then you're like basically good. So I really kept the same concept, so you all can't say that I destroyed the build or anything. Well, anyway, I did, but I still kept the box. And so I think for this entire house, I was thinking that this home had one sim, maybe two sims with a pet, maybe a cat or a dog. I don't know. It would seem more like the sim would have a cat more than a dog, and they're trying to be some type of stylish influencer of stylizing different sims and different like outfits and stuff, and trying to be an influencer in that way, like a fashion designer like Iggy Fabulous from Get Famous. And they want to definitely put their best foot forward and try to make these sims not look like a hot mess on a Sunday afternoon in the winter time in 2009, because we don't have time for that. We really don't have time for sim looking like a hot mess, and it's not pretty. It really isn't. Like, do you see your sims running around looking like a hot mess on a Sunday afternoon in the wintertime in 2009, wearing some random objects? The eyeball ring, Shella, don't come for me, but like the eyeball ring is scary, so I never use it, and it's just not a good item for me to use for creative sim. And so when I see sims wear that eyeball ring or some random outfit, I'm asking to myself, who dressed you? And I'm like, I sure didn't. The game did that to you. The game messed you up, but I'm here to help. And so that's why I think that the sim is like made it their mission to really put their best foot forward, like I said, and give these sims the life and the clothing that they deserve. And now, personally, I've never really played with the stylish influencer career fully, and I think it's a freelancer career, I believe. And so I haven't used that career as much as I would like to, and I want to do something with it and make it fun, because I literally had one sim who was a stylish influencer or trying to be, I guess, a famous from stylizing different sims and different clothing and making them, stylish, and they wanted to be a influencer. So I think that's what the sim is trying to do, I guess. And hopefully one day they could do that. And I might put this in my save file because I do a lot of builds and I never put them somewhere. I always make a new save file and like build it that way. But all these renovations and all these like builds that I'm doing, I feel like I should put them in my save file to like fill up the world more. But here's the thing. I am basically stalling my save file right now because I don't want to do community builds. And making community builds are very scary to me and very daunting. So I'm like, what do I do with that? Like, how do I make a gym or how do I make a library? I've made libraries before, like I'm like one, like literally one library. And so I think I want to make a bar, like renovate the base game bar, but make it look more fancy and more cooler for another video because I think that at the end of the day, community lots are scary because they're a singular concept, but it's like, how do I make it work, you know? So that's where I'm stuck right now with my save file. The only thing is literally the community lots. I've done the park. Well, no, I've done the gym. I've done the library. I haven't done the bar or the museum yet for Willow Creek or Oasis Springs. So those are the only two things I really have to do for my save file, minus like the park in both worlds because I want to renovate them a little bit but not change them too much because those parks are gigantic and I don't want to go above and beyond, and well I do, but I don't want to go crazy with it where it's like too much, you know? So I might just renovate them and just make them anew, but still kind of keeping the same style, if that makes sense. So that's what I might do. And I also have to make one for Newcrest as well, because each world needs to have their own park, or at least a little small little community park for them to have. And I don't know. I'm really excited. I don't know. I've just been overall like pumped lately because these past couple of days I have not been posting videos on YouTube, but I've also been working on YouTube videos. I just haven't been posting them because I've been booked and busy. I started acting classes these past couple of months. I started doing voice acting classes, doing auditions for voice acting and regular acting, and just overall just bettering my mental health because I think it's very important to do that. And you know, I use The Sims to really help me cope with a lot of stuff. And I try to create stories that one, make sense, and two, also just make sense. So I think that with The Sim, like I said, The Sim is helping me cope with a lot of stuff and having them being a stylish influencer and making their own, I guess, reality or their own life the best possible they can and making it work for the rest of their life. And maybe, just maybe, they could really change the world and change the way Sims stress and change the way Sims, you know, really act on a day-to-day basis because they'd be acting like a hot mess express and it ain't pretty. So I wanted to make sure this home was made for one Sim and one Sim only. And that's why I didn't want to make it where it was too big or too small, but like just the right size for a singular Sim who owns a pet. And that's why I only added one nightstand because on occasion, on no, actually no, all the time, literally all the time, I always end up adding in two nightstands, and I'm like, no single Sim needs two nightstands. I have two nightstands because I'm a regular human being, but that's beside the point. I think Sims and The Sims just regular don't need two nightstands, so I thought, why not change it up a bit and just have one nightstand? I'm doing things that I haven't done before in The Sims, but I also want to try and use items that I don't like using a lot in The Sims 4, which is quite a few of them. And so I want to try and do that in a video for Sims 4, because there are a few items that I just don't like using, like the future cube or the hamster thing from My First Pet stuff. Mostly My First Pet stuff items I don't really use. I just don't use a lot of stuff from other packs. The Machino pack, I actually use that one quite a bit. I mean, not create a sim, but I use it for build and buy, though I do. But yeah, if you have any video ideas that you want me to do for the future, let me know in the comments below, or like tweet me on Twitter, or like join my Discord server. We do that a lot. We chit chat about life, the pursuit of happiness, and if you have like any video ideas or like stream ideas, they're always posted in my Discord. That's pretty much where I get all of my ideas from, and that helps me a lot for content wise. But anywho, the Meduzzles, I think that this home has come along well. And let me tell you, I was struggling like nobody's business with the wallpaper situation. And this is why I actually stream a lot of my builds rather than recording them myself half of the time, is because you all give me good ideas on what I can do with like the wallpaper situation. Because 9 times out of 10, I won't do an accent wall. I can never think of actually doing one because I just don't know how. I mean, I know how, but I just don't know how I'm gonna make it work. Like a singular wall is a different wallpaper amongst the other ones. Like in my previous build that I did for my build challenge, my shell challenge, I had a brick accent wall, and the other walls weren't brick. So it's like, okay, this is different. It's like a vibe that I'm trying to work with. So, at the end of the day, it worked. It worked in its favor, and I might do it again. But, the other thing, too, about this house is that the sim is, one, a stylish influencer, and two, they love painting, and they also love a lot of plants, and they love their little cat, which I've decided now they own a cat. And, they own a lot of boxes and crates, so I definitely did use Journey to Batu. And Journey to Batu is a journey that we just don't acknowledge enough. It's definitely a journey. It's a long journey, but it's a worthy journey. It's to add a lot of crates and boxes and add variety to a home. But hey, it is what it is, and we all eventually get there in the end. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and hop into the real-time tour of this build and see what we've missed. So I have to say, this build, the concept for it was definitely different in my head, but I'm glad I did what I did because my heart took over with the landscaping. So it kind of worked in its favor, especially when it came to debug and making sure stuff was free and not expensive, because the majority of the budget goes to the landscaping. But I really had a lot of fun with the exterior because like the decor fences and the landscaping and the planter boxes and even like the little vines on the wall made it kind of work really good. Because at first I wasn't going to add these in, but it looked a little bit bland and boring on the outside. So I added them pretty much all across the board when it came to the home, and it worked. But I also gave the sim a little side garage because I felt they needed somewhere to get away from everyday life. So I gave them an easel, some crates and boxes from Batu, some bikes, and also some extra storage chairs. Now, for the inside of the house, mainly, is all open floor plan besides like the little small laundry room area. I wanted to make it very as open as possible because I'm trying to push myself towards open concept and see what I can do, especially with smaller builds. Not so much as big builds, because big builds take time and open concept with that is a hot mess. And I ain't trying to do that today. But I gave this little kitchen area a nice personality with some dishes, a bread box, some placemats from Parenthood, and even a small TV that's from Base Game. Because I started to do this more often in my builds where I put like a small TV in the kitchen area, because sometimes Sims usually eat in the kitchen or in the living room or whatever it might be. So it just kind of works. And a lot of TV shows I've watched in the past, like the old timey TV shows, have a TV in their kitchen, and I wanted to do that today for this build, and it looks really nice. I definitely use a lot of Dream Home Decorator with the kitchen counters and cabinets and island, so it just works. But then over here is like the smallish dining room area with the bar stools and also the dining room table, and of course you must have a pet, so I added a pet bowl and a pet box and some hanging plants because I felt like the sim loves plants and they love their pet and they just love mid-century modern furniture. And the entirety of the entire loft home is basically mid-century modern is a category that I was building with it. So I used a lot of like Get Famous and Tiny Living and Paranormal and Dream Home Decorator with this pack or this build. So I love the couches and I love the armchairs from Paranormal and even the fireplace too, I believe is from Parenthood. So it works best in this color, but also works best in this home. And I really like it. And then over here is like the small little entry area where you put your shoes. And over here we have the laundry room. Because at first I was going to put it over here, but then it just worked best in like that small little nook. So I just put it there. But then upstairs is where the magic happens, mainly where you sleep, because that's all you really do upstairs. What else would you do? So I added in like a small little double bed, but with one end table, and then all this decor, like the music over here, cassette taper, and then the pet bed, and then the bathroom over here, and also the pride flag as well. So I think that like kind of works. And I've always felt that your Sims needed some cleaning items, and I wish that laundry day stuff, or whenever we got more like laundry type stuff in the game, your Sims could actually sweep the floor, because that dust is all over the place, and I don't really use busted dust as much, but having a functioning broom and dustpan would be so cool to have in The Sims. But overall, that is pretty much the entire build. The back side of the home is non-existent because all added is a chair and a nice little bird feeder, and that's basically it. But for the majority of the home, it's pretty much all done, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's very nice, very quaint, very cool. It does use a variety of packs, however, but if you want to know what packs I used in this overall, I will link my origin ID down below in the description, but also a special YouTube short trick that I learned today in The Sims 4 that I think you all would definitely love to know and also learn from. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But either way, as always, I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below, as always, of what you thought of this build. And if you want me to renovate one of your builds, go ahead and use the hashtag Spring It Up on the gallery. Everything is linked down below in the description. But as always, hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!